Some customers negotiate, some customers compare prices, and then there are customers who negotiate every single cent. Linda was one of them, rather I would say Linda is one of them. Before we even started searching, she gave me a warning. Arpita, don't expect a tip from me. I don't believe in tipping culture. So I am not going to give you any tip. Imagine the customer, even before you're talking about anything, this is what she is describing, this is what she's telling. I only have enough money to buy my ticket, and honestly, I smiled because I wasn't worried about the tip. By now, you all know that I am not somebody who will anyway ask for the tip. So for me, that was okay. I was only worried about getting her the right ticket. Little did I know, this customer would eventually, become someone I stopped calling a customer altogether because she became my family. Hi people, welcome back to your channel Dreamport Journey with Arpita. This is your host, and today we are talking about the episode 3, which is the customer Linda that we spoke about on Monday. And the thing is, the customer who never believed in tipping, and that is Linda for you. Now the thing is, these customer diaries are more special to me, and they're more personal. You would see that many a times I become too overwhelmed, when I'm describing the story of the customer, because genuinely these are those pieces of my heart which I am, sharing openly on a public platform. But, yet I always feel little vulnerable because these are those lessons which maybe I would have never discussed otherwise. But right now, because my goal is to help a larger community, a larger pool of people, that is the reason, I'm openly talking about them. So yes, you might find, in these episodes, you will not have that continuity. That's because I'm reliving every moment that I speak with you. So please bear with me, because you would be seeing the raw and, the honest storytelling of what it happens, because these are the things that I, remember as we speak. Okay. So let's begin. Now, welcome back to Customer Diaries. Now, if you all have noticed in the last 2 episodes, every Wednesday, I don't teach you sales. I don't teach any scripts. Instead, I share a real customer, where, these customers, their story quietly changed the way I looked at people and business. And today's diary belongs to Linda, a woman who counted every single dollar, and yet she taught me one of the richest lessons of my career. Now the thing is, see, Linda was not new to our company, because people who are already working here would know that irrespective of whichever platform you're working, whether it's Sujo, Skylux, Travelport, or Triplicity, or Ujo, or ASAP Tickets, you will know that when it's a company written customer, you would see that purple, logo on the customer's name. So you understand it's a company written customer. So Linda was not new to our company. She was one of the, in fact, active buyers of our company. And, she regularly received a lot of promotional offers and everything. And, she is one of those customers that, let's say if you have sent her a message today that there's a promotion going on, she will immediately call and she'll book it. Tomorrow if you send another promo, she will again book it. So that's the philosophy of this customer, okay? So every time she received one offer, the phone would ring, Arpita, I want this promo fare. Now before, she became my return customer, it was just a random live call that, I was on, and the call got disconnected. And then in the meantime, I picked up a bonus queue lead, and on that bonus queue lead, I could see Linda there. And when I called her up and, she picked up, and then she said that, right now my travel plans have changed, but I'll save your number and call you back. I said, okay. And that was just our conversation. And I think after a week, this customer, she called me back and she told me that, Arpita, I've got this message, for Manila, because she is a customer who always travels to Manila. And her itinerary is San Francisco to Manila always. So she said that she had received a message that, the promo fare, which was like $500. Now, most of us know, everybody knows, promo fares are never available. Never ever. They are just the gimmick that customer can pick up the phone and they can call us, right? So, the thing was, it didn't matter to her, what the advertisement showed. $30, $80, $500. She wanted exactly that fare. She is one of those customers. Now, many of you all will relate. You will always find some of the other customers who would say that, oh, I saw the promo of $400. I want the $400. They are flexible with the dates. They're flexible with the timing. They're flexible with airline. They're flexible with everything. They just want that $400. No matter whatever it is, however they have to go, they will go. But they want that promo fare because they want to test the integrity, the honesty of what we are actually offering. So she was one of those, nothing more, nothing less. The very first time we spoke, like I said, she wanted to fly to Manila, and she had received one of our promotional advertisement which said, travel anywhere in Manila for $500. Travel anywhere in Philippines for $500. And unfortunately, by the time I searched, that fare no longer existed. The lowest available option was actually much higher. And, she gave me a clear warning that I will not give you the tip. Second thing, I want the fare exactly as what you have shown, not a single cent up, not a single cent down. So imagine customer who's arguing about the cents as well. She questioned everything. How, like, because I had to tell her genuinely that the advertisement is no longer available, it's already full. And then she said, how can the advertisement still be running? Because I just got the message like a second ago. And because I know these are promo fares which are not available, that is the reason I call you guys immediately as soon as I get the message. So how can you say that the promo fare no longer exists? Because I called you just a second, after I got the message. And then she questioned how can the fare disappear so quickly, and then I explained her honestly, because by this time I knew that there was no point of lying to her, because whatever it is. Now, if a customer who's actually always looking at promo fare, and if she calls us immediately, you hardly have any room to talk about that, okay, you had called a couple of hours later or something and the fare has gone, because this customer is calling you just right the next second. So I had no choice but to tell her honestly that sometimes I explained her that promotional fares are extremely limited, and sometimes they are gone before customers even finish calling. And she sighed, and then she said, you are telling me that in 1 second you had that fare and the fare disappeared. Like, seriously, are you even for real? This is what exactly she said. And then she said, okay, fine, let's look at it. I will change my travel dates. I'll change them. You give me whatever dates, maybe 7 months from now, 10 months from now, 12 months from now, 15, she was okay with any dates. I just want the cheapest ticket. And that sentence told me everything about her, because it was for her, price wasn't important. It was everything, which means that this customer, no matter whatever I give her, in the end, she will only talk about the price and price. And that's where, what I did. I said, fine, let me just, start searching. Now, usually what happens here is, when such are the customers, generally 99.99% of agents, including me, we always buy time from the customer, that we can always go back to our expert or maybe to our advisor or whoever it is, and we can ask them to maybe add this fare or something. So that was my next protocol, that I would ask some time from her. I would say that, okay, fine, I'll search about these things, because now she's open for the entire calendar, right? So I have to search for so many dates and everything. And she was like, I will so I was about to ask her, fine, give me some time, maybe like an hour or two, and then I'll call you back after I search all the possible fares and everything. And all of us know that in that 2 hours we don't search for all the dates. We just search for 2, 3, 4 random dates, and then we say that we have searched for every single date and the fare is no longer available. And that's exactly what we were taught as well, right? So I exactly did the same thing. But this customer, she was made up of something else, because she completely changed this misconception also about things. So I kept searching different dates, different airlines, different routings. She never rushed me. In fact, the minute I told her that, I think Miss Linda, this is going to take time. So what we can do is, I'll call you back. And then she said something that I had never ever heard before from any customer. She said, take your time. If you're spending your time searching for me, for my flight, for my calendar, for my fare, I'll stay on the call. Because like I said, most customer wants us to call back. They don't want to, be with us on the call. She said, no, Linda stayed with me for almost an hour, because I was searching. Now, she did not give me a room also that I can keep the phone and then I can work on something else. No, she was right now with me on the call for almost an hour. She did not even say anything, for that entire 1 hour, she kept talking about everything under the sun, about her son, about her husband, about her NGO that she works. So in that first call itself, I got to know so many things about her. Then I understood that she is working for an NGO, and then she goes to all these places to do all the volunteering activities and everything, and which is why she is always thinking about that 1 cent also, because and then she told me, I understand the value of money because I am actually doing volunteering for a lot of things. And then she spoke about a lot of special causes that she is actually giving her services, giving her savings as well. So in that 1 hour, she told me so many things that I understood that, right now for her, maybe pricing is the only thing that she is looking at. Even if I give her $550, she may not agree. But when you're checking the system, there is nothing for $500. And what you do, the next available option is Google Flights. You search on Google Flights, you see, and then when you see on Google Flights, there is no other date that you see for $500, which means $500 is not a fare at all. It is just, it's an imaginable fare. So, after a point when we were discussing, and then she laughed and she said, the reason I stayed on the call is, because I can't let you work this hard for me while I disappear. If I want genuinely, the fare that you are looking at, I should be also responsible, that I should be staying on the call. And that, shook me, because this is the first time a customer is taking the responsibility that somebody else is working for them. They are calling somebody and they are working for them. So it's their responsibility. The responsibility lies on them, that they have to be on the call, because if they are on the call, the things can, materialize quite faster. And the minute she told me, I was like, wow. And then she said, especially because Arpita, I've already told you in the beginning that I'm not going to give you a tip. So if I'm not going to give you a tip, that means you're doing everything for free for me. And the only thing that I can do right now is I can stay on the call with you, so that whatever you find, you can let me know, and then we can go ahead with things, because I don't want you to keep following up with me, because I am not going to tip you. So I understand, I respect your hard work that you're doing, and that is the reason I am staying on the call. And then we both laughed, and then she becomes serious, and then she said, wait, let me tell you one thing, that don't increase the price just because I'm not going to give you a tip. I was like, no, don't worry. She said, no, the reason I am telling you is, that don't increase the prices, because in the past there have been agents, the minute I tell them that I'm not going to give them a tip, they, eventually increase the price. So I'm telling you right away, because when I notice this, I cancel my ticket. So I said, don't worry, I'm not going to increase the price. Whatever price I'm going to give you, you can see that, that's available in the market as well. So I smiled and I told Linda, that's not how I work. Eventually, I found the lowest fare, and it was $700. And then she said, no, I'm not doing $700, because I came for $500. And I told her, see, this is the only fare that I see here. Now, if you would like, you can wait for the next promo to be available, because there's nothing that I can do here. And then she said, well, if you can find 700 when others are finding for 800, 900, 950 something, then I'll go with 700. And then, just without even pushing her so much, like without even telling her anything, because she realized that for 1 hour I was actually searching, she could see the value. And that's exactly what I explained to you on Monday, that the minute you only talk about price and you don't increase the value, the conversation revolves around the price. And that's exactly what this customer taught me, that here I wasn't discussing about the price anymore, we were discussing about the value, and the value the customer understood without even me telling her. And then came one of the best parts of our Dreamport journey, which is insurance. And I already knew that this was going to be difficult, because like I said, a customer who's arguing on 20 cents also, because I remember I told her that the fare is $700 and some 28 cents, and when I sent her the booking form, it was 48 cents. For that 20 cents, she kept arguing that, no, you told me it was 28, it should be 28. Why it is? I was like, Linda, it's just 20 cents. She said, no, it's not about 20 cents or anything. What you told me, it has to be that only. You cannot just change the price because you want it. I said, I did not change the price. It's just the basic tax calculation. So you can understand, a customer who's arguing for 20 cents, will she buy insurance? Of course, no, because that's exactly, what you tend to assume about customers, right? And when I told her about travel insurance, she refused immediately. Like every person, she said, I traveled my whole life, I've never needed insurance, I'm not spending another dollar. And normally that would have ended the discussion for us, but something told me to try once more. And I explained, and I told her that you are already booking 10 months in advance, like 10 months ahead of the time, right? Because she was supposed to fly in February of the following year, and we were doing this booking in around April. So I told her, you have a large pool, that you need to look at. What if anything changes? What if your plan changes because you're working for an NGO? What if, their dates get rescheduled? Anything you need to understand, because this promo fares always comes with a basic set of restrictions, where the fare is, it's non-refundable, non-deductible, non-transferable, non-exchangeable. Anything that happens, this actually insurance would give you, the room to change the dates, because this is what the insurance benefit was when we were doing this when this customer's first sale happened. And eventually then I told her, a lot can happen in 10 months. And then eventually she asked me, how much is the insurance? So when I calculated it, it wasn't a huge amount. It was just, I think, about around 83 or about $93, something about that sort, because then the travel insurance price was very less. And still it felt expensive for her, because for someone who's counting every dollar. So I made a decision, and I told her, what I can do is I can bundle it up for you. I can ask my advisor to give you a special discount, and maybe I can reduce another like $20 from this, and you can then take the insurance, because I genuinely want you to be protected, because I have been here for so long and I have seen customers, actually, trying to change the dates and everything, and then they end up paying more. And I don't want you to go through this, because you've already told me so much about you that I really want, like, if I were you, if, my family was traveling, I would have definitely given them this insurance no matter what. And the minute I told her, she said, fine, if that is what you say, I would do it. And then, eventually that's how we agreed. So I told her that instead of 93, she will only pay $73 for the insurance, and that's how then it will be $773. That is what she's going to pay, $773.48. That's what she said. I said, yes, this is exactly what you're going to pay. And after the booking happened, the tip screen appeared. Now, like I told you that, because Linda is not new to our company, she had already purchased a couple of times earlier. So she exactly knew on the tip screen what needs to be done. And, then I told her, in the end, you will see the tip screen and you can just put 0. She said, I know that, you don't need to worry about it, because I've been booking with your company for quite a long time. I said, okay, fine. And then that's it. The booking form came in. And I didn't even look. Usually what happens is agents open the booking form and they see that OAF, what is it that customers have taken the products. I did not even see, because I knew travel insurance and ticket, that's it. Because she doesn't carry bags, so she doesn't need loss bag protection, and the tip she was anyway not supposed to give, so I did not open and look. And then then she told me, she was on the call, she said, did you get the booking form? I said yes. So she said, did you check? I was like I said, because I did not check. So I said, okay, let me check. And when I checked, I saw on the tip there was $30. And I laughed. I said, Linda, I thought you weren't leaving a tip. She smiled. She said, I am still not. I still did not give you the tip. You reduced the insurance for me and I'm simply giving you your money back. She said, this is the first time I understood the product. This is the first time I understood the necessity of having an insurance, on my ticket in the first place. Instead of just, keeping me protected on my ticket, it also gave me a clearer reason that I should be actually, having the insurance there. So then she added, if I would have paid the full insurance, the money would have gone to the company. But right now, I would rather give it to you because, and this isn't generosity, it is gratitude. Because not only did you stay, loyal, not only did you stay honest for the entire 1.5 hour conversation, you understood what I wanted. You literally searched for everything. You did not even, get upset when I said I'm not going to give you a tip and everything. And yet, when I refused the insurance, you did not give up. You explained once again, and you made me understand the product. So this I'm giving you as gratitude, not as generosity. And then, a month later, what happened? She called again. Then again. So she traveled New York, Seattle, Las Vegas, Michigan, Nashville, Japan, Malaysia. Like I said, any promo fare you send her, she will call and she will take the ticket. I don't even know what she does with so many tickets, but then yes, she does. Imagine, before she even took her Manila trip, which was 10 months after the day that we booked it, she had already booked more than 10 other journeys with me. Eventually, our conversation stopped sounding like business calls. She would just text me, Arpita. And that's how, slowly it began. She would just text me, Arpita, I got this promo fare. And she used to send me the text message. This is the promo fare. I need a ticket. And then I would send the options. She would choose one. Done. Then she would call, not because she needed a ticket, but simply to ask, how are you? Like that, this relation became at, such deep at a level that then she eventually stopped calling me for tickets. She would just call in and she would talk about how are you, how are everything. And then she would talk about, a little bit about her workplace, about her son, how her son is finding, online these promo fares and everything. And then slowly, what happened is she simply called to ask how are you, and then she will say, you know what, let me just introduce you to one of my friends. Like, she used to be around her friends, and then she used to call me. She'd be like, okay, speak to her. This is, family. Okay, speak to her. This is Jenny. Okay, speak to her. So likewise, she used to do it. And then she started sending me referrals. She started telling people, don't search, just call Arpita. And whenever she traveled to Manila, y'all won't believe, she would still call me from Manila, not because she needed a ticket. She used to call me, she used to just call and check, how am I doing? And times where I am not even logged in, and if she had called up and I don't answer the call, she used to panic. She used to immediately call the general line. She used to ask general line, is Arpita still working there? And the minute somebody says, yes, Arpita is around, she's like, okay, fine, I'll call her later. Like, that is how the relationship became. Like, instead of, imagine a customer arguing over 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cents, now just calling to check up on me if Arpita is still available at, ASAP tickets, if Arpita is still working there. And I think that's exactly what Linda taught me. She taught me that generosity isn't always measured by money. Sometimes it's measured in intention. She never became loyal because I found the cheapest ticket or I reduced the insurance for her, the price for insurance. She became loyal because she knew I genuinely cared about her. That care turned a customer into someone who felt like family. So now people often ask me, how do you create loyal customers, Arpita? Like, you have so many people who returns to you. That's because I don't think loyalty begins when someone buys from you. It begins when they realize your decisions aren't driven only by commission. They are driven by genuine care. And I think once the customers understands this, trust me, it's very easy for them to come back to you, even if you give the cheapest, even if you give the highest price ticket to them as well. Linda came looking for the cheapest ticket. She left becoming one of the strongest relationships I have ever built in my career. And today, after countless domestic trips, international journeys, referrals, and hundreds of conversations, I don't think of Linda as my customer anymore. I think of her as family. Like, honestly speaking, I have lost the counts that she has booked with me, because like I said, you all know ASAP Tickets run promo every month. So every month there's a promo, she has a booking. So today's story is actually not about negotiation. It's about relationships. And inside Bonus Q, many consultants spend their energy trying to lower prices, but the strongest customer relationships aren't built through discounts. They are built through consistency. Imagine this was a Bonus Q customer and what I made out of a Bonus Q customer. So Eventually, when I said, when you are building relationships through consistency, care and trust, and that's exactly what we are going to talk about on Friday, which is how exactly this principle works inside Bonus Queue. Like, how can you handle these situations much better in Bonus Queue? Because if you've ever had a customer who slowly became more like family than a client, then of course, yes, please do let me know. And I'll see you next Wednesday with another real customer, another real conversation, and another lesson that shaped the professional I've become today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next one.